Thank you. And there'll be a delay, right, Nick, apparently?
Yes.
Okay. So, welcome everyone that has joined us on live. Sorry for the delay. We typically get some of our housekeeping items, some minutes and some reports out of the way prior to going live on YouTube. Those of you who have joined us in the past kind of know the routine. We do appreciate everyone's attendance, and again, sorry for starting a little bit later than 7 o'clock. I would like to start off this meeting by recognizing that it is September 11th and honoring with a moment of silence all of our fallen friends and family members and acquaintances and heroes that we lost during the disaster on September 11th, 2001. Also, we had a recent death in our extended family. Chuck Howard's father passed away. Chuck is our senior executive board member. His dad was going through a tough time and passed away earlier this week. So we just want to honor him, everyone we lost during 9/11, and any other members that are out there that have lost any loved ones. So. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And the folks in the room, I appreciate you indulging us one more time with that. So for anyone that is new to our meeting that has joined us on YouTube Live, I'm going to ask that you identify yourself in the comments section, name and store name, store name, and store number, so that we can that someone's listening to it, I can hear myself, so that we can not only identify you, right, for attendance, but also that we write down your name on an attendance card. That attendance card becomes your raffle ticket at the end of our meeting tonight. We're going to do a raffle of Stop and Shop gift cards. So it's important, if you're attending, to indicate who you are and where you're from. And again, we appreciate you joining us tonight. You know, it's 9/11 is always a tough day for all of us. So it's you know, business has to continue, and we just we appreciate everyone that has taken the time out. The folks that are here in the room, traveling over here tonight, and the folks that are on YouTube Live. We will have a question and answer period right before the raffle at the end of the meeting. So if you've got any questions, please write them in the comment area. So we've got two teams going. We've got a team that is identifying folks for attendance and the raffle, and we have a team that is writing down any questions that might come in. And they present the questions to us towards the end, and while we're collecting for the raffle and all that, we will answer any questions you may have to the best of our ability. Now, that's that's typically Rob's baby. He loves to do that. God bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
But you can, if you haven't noticed already, Rob is not here with us tonight. He is in Atlanta at a UFCW conference that started today. Allie and I are actually going to meet him tomorrow. We have a 6 a.m. flight to Atlanta. So needless to say, we're going to try and keep this meeting short and sweet. But as I said, business goes on. We had to have this meeting. We always have to have our general membership meeting. So we couldn't join him in Atlanta today, but we will definitely be there with him tomorrow morning. But he does send his regards. He was just on a Zoom with us about an hour and a half ago, and he did want to make sure that we sent our regards. He sent his regards to you. Right? We always send our regards to you. But yeah, you'll see him back at the next GMM, General Membership Meeting. I guess we don't have, there's no one here from Fusco, right, today?
No, I didn't see him.
Okay, all right, so that'll make the meeting even shorter. Do you want me to just go on with my report?
No,
It's next
I can,
one.
we could
You wanna-
switch around
Okay.
and change gears a little bit. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Okay with it too, yeah.
Okay, good. We don't want to have a dispute here,
No.
you know. Rob's not here to settle it, so. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all. Funny, I wanted to kind of chime in a little bit on what Joe was talking about, the conference that Rob's at. And, you know, it's interesting because a lot of these conferences are about us kind of continuing our education or learning more about what it is that we're doing here. So a lot of it is like leadership in the law and us learning more about what our role is, what we're supposed to be doing. I can tell you that from our conversations with Rob, luckily for us, we usually come out on top. And I say that with a lot of pride, and I would defer to our e-board also to say, we are in great communication with them to make sure that we are doing things correctly, because it does impact us all. Believe it or not, so many of these things that we're talking about, we're standing here, we're sitting here at this meeting today, and we're discussing 9/11. And, you know, those conversations are very American, I would say. They're very deep-rooted in so many things that we represent. But a lot of what we're talking about also has a lot to do with labor. Has a lot to do with some of the things that happened, because not just on that day, but how there was a ripple effect of so many things that took place. And we're still talking about it, not just because we should never forget, but also because people are still dying from illnesses and so many things that happened as a result of that day. So the role that a union plays oftentimes is something that forever stays, and, you know, and it's some of the work that those unions had to do. It's not something that I envy, but it is something that, you know, equally to the preparation that Rob's going through right now at that conference, is something that we have to learn to be able to be prepared for. Not to say that we want to be prepared for a 9/11. No one wants to be prepared for that. But we should all be prepared for our own crises and emergencies. We should all be taking note and making sure that the members, the people that are doing the work, are at the front line. You'll often hear us give reports. We talk a lot about the things that we're going through. But I always learn so much from the folks that we get to meet, and you get to meet a lot of people along the way. You know, I was a person that someone met along the way, and they told me that I should come work for the union. And for that, I'll be forever grateful, you know, not just for the opportunity, but for all of the knowledge and the things that I've been able to gain and retain, and obviously for the relationships that I've been able to build with you all, because that's something that is completely and totally irreplaceable. I wanted to just take a moment to introduce a campaign. During the reading of the minutes, Joe spoke about Pani Dolce, and, you know, before I get into that, I kind of wanted to say, you know, for those legacy people that we have in the room, for the folks that work for the Pathmarks, and, you know, Gail, we just said that word, we said Pathmark together when we were, you know, doing our greetings before the meeting started. You know, we have so many companies that have come and gone, and we have members that are in this room that we used to be with other companies, like Steve being with Waldbaum's, and, you know, now he's on our team. And so that's the fiber, that's the thing that brings us together, that makes us who we are. And it's really important to highlight that, because, you know, there's a saying that says organize or die, right? And every time I hear it, I kind of chuckle, because it sounds like a lot, you know? Like, they're very few words, but they sound like a lot. But they mean even more, you know? As funny as the phrase can sound, the truth is that if we don't continue to build, we die, we go away, we won't be here. Our numbers will dwindle, and sooner or later, we won't be able to do anything, because we won't have it, right? We won't have that power. The power that drives us is the driven power that we have with the people behind us. So when we talk about these new companies, I want our legacy people to be engaged. I want them to look at it as an opportunity, not just for the union to become bigger or to grow, but for the labor movement as a whole, for someone like Steve to go from Woolbaum's to Wild by Nature, or for Gail to go from, Pathmark to Stop and Shop. So, these things are really important. There's so many other people in the room that we could say the same things about, right? But it doesn't have to be a union banner that replaces a union banner. It could be a new banner. It could be a non-union banner where things are corrected. I wanted to take the opportunity to direct you to the back of the room to say that there's a young lady standing back there. Her name is Sandra. I met Sandra working at Pane Dolce, a company that we didn't know anything about. But while working to correct some issues at Bingo, where we do have a picket line, where things are being done a little bit differently, and our staff has been working very diligently for months and months and months now, and the rain and the cold and the heat, and I can tell you right now, there's no relief in the heat. When you're cold, you can warm up. When you're hot, you're just hot. You don't want to stand out there, and I think poor Danny's been, he's got quite the farmer's tan, so I'll embarrass him a little bit on that. But while we were standing there, we got to know about this campaign, and the reason why this campaign is so important is because that's the one that Joe referenced, that we're at the labor board right now. We're trying to correct some wrongs there. And we had an election earlier in the year. We were not victorious. It was a very difficult election. It is not something that really makes us rejoice. I don't want to say happy. It's not something that we can celebrate. What I can highlight, what I can recognize, is the fact that workers were able to speak up. They were able to exercise their vote. They were able to do something that they've never had before. They've never had a voice. The reason why I wanted to highlight Sandra is because she stood up against all odds, even when she knew that the odds were against her. She stood up against the company, her coworkers, and she stood in front of her shop and she gave out literature with our organizers in the middle of the night when people were getting off of work. And I just want to say that I don't really know where someone finds the courage to do something like that. This person is, I would say, pretty remarkable in her own way, and she's very shy. I know she doesn't want me to talk too much about her, but I just wanted you all to just meet her. And Sandra, could you give us a little wave? I, for one, am very proud that you chose to be with us. And if I may say something to her in Spanish, it's, estoy muy orgullosa de todo lo que tú has hecho. Y lo tengo que decir. Y no, yo sé que no quieres que lo diga, pero tenía que hacerlo. Gracias y estamos contigo siempre, ¿ok? Thank you. She's very proper, but she calls me Miss Allie. I'm sure there are folks in the room that can definitely relate to those things. But thank you so much, and I just wanted to take a moment to highlight her. Like so many other folks, and I think that the more that we get to sit with people that have never had a union before, I love to bring them in and just introduce them to you, because to sit across from your boss, whether you're talking about an organizing campaign or you're talking about bargaining, is very difficult. And it's something that as jobs change in our careers, we've had less exposure to the organizing part of this job. And it's something that I'm really proud of, that I'm getting to do more and more in my role, in this role. And it's something that I started here doing a long time ago. So thank you for indulging us in that. I also wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for their attendance that were there for the Labor Day Parade. I think that this year, more than ever, it was a really great event. Honestly, I think people had fun. We have a DJ now, and people are dancing. They're marching down the street. They're having a good time. And it's really great to see. What I also really like, and I'm going to get a little bit into some things that I know are a little difficult to talk about, such as politics. And I don't, I'll say no one is going to have a conversation where we all agree. But what I do want to highlight is the fact that labor is at the forefront and people are talking about it. Your votes matter. How you feel matter. What you're going to do matters. And we have to ride that wave. The reason for that is not just because it should have always mattered. It's not just because of the pandemic. It's not just because of so many things that have happened, in the past 5 years. It's also because people are organizing. It's because people are showing up. It's because there are so many picket lines. I mean, if you open your eyes and you look around, workers are being noticed. And that's a role that we cannot take a step away from. That's something that we can't go back to the days when, I know what I thought organizing was going to be when I started working here. I thought it was going to be the greatest job ever. I love the union. I'm going to show up and someone's going to tell me, yes, I want to belong to your union. That's not the way it was. And, while it's not like that now, because it isn't, there's a lot of work that goes into it, just by the example that I gave with Sandra. But it is very different, and it is an opportunity for all of us. I'll say it every time I speak to you all, and I have an opportunity to say it. We can all improve the lives of other people, and in turn, improve the lives of the members of Local 1500 by introducing the union into their workplace. There's so much more that we could do, and I know that as a group, we could do it. I see some faces in the room that were at the fishing trip, one of my favorite events that I'd like to attend. We always have a really great time. And if you haven't been, I would say I highly recommend that you do. Love to be in a situation where we have more than one boat, and I'm taking over for Rob there because he definitely wants that to happen. But in all seriousness, we had a little bit of a hiccup this year, and Jeff, who usually runs the trip, he got sick. And I have to say that I was really proud of our team when everyone pitched in and everything went off without a hitch. And that's the kind of thing that we want to see, right? The fishing trip might seem like a small task or something that we do that's just for fun. But it's part of who we are. It's part of what we do every year to bring our members in. And I think if we stop doing these things, we can't stop doing membership meetings. I know they're not as fun as the fishing trip, but if we stop doing these
No
things.
vodka allowed at the membership meeting.
There was vodka? Just to clear the record, there was no vodka this year at the fishing trip. But we won't point any fingers at anyone. But in all seriousness, I do want you all to think about what impact these things can have and how that brings us closer together. And how maybe that's something that one of our members can lead or have an idea that, you may want us to do something a little bit different, which we're totally okay with. Just throwing it out there for you all. I did want to report on something that Rob's been doing for a few months now, and if you haven't seen, has anyone spotted Rob in a store? No?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good. I'm hearing some yeses.
Yes.
So, kind of weaves into what I was just talking about. Did you see him? No, not yet? Okay. We'll let him know. It kind of weaves into what I'm talking about. And during his visits, Rob has found some pretty interesting and I would say even unique situations that sometimes people are not ready to come out and talk about, or they didn't think that the union could help with. Most recently, I'll bring up something that happened with David, and someone is having an issue with getting their birth certificate. I just want to put this out there for everyone in this room and also that's here virtually. If you have an issue and you can't figure it out, if it seems like it's out of your hands, call us. Let us know. We can help. We talk to elected officials all the time about things that matter to our members. That's our job. It's my job to talk to them. If you have an issue, we will call them. We will harass them. We will do whatever needs to be done to make sure that things get done the right way. You know, by the way, Jessica Ramos, the chair, the labor chair on the state senate, was at Pani Dolce. And we ended up on Channel 41,
Univision.
Univision, thank you, on the news. And that's okay with us. That is our job. That's what we're supposed to do. So don't wait until we have a membership meeting and put your questions in. If you have one tonight, by all means, please do it. But please don't wait until there's a situation where you are forced in an interaction with us. We are here all the time. Talk to your rep. You know, my understanding is that David tried to talk to an elected official prior to even bringing it to us to have that resolved. And that's what we're here for. And look, if not your rep, your shop steward. I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are at your fingertips for us to be able to get you in front of the right folks. And that's important. You know, we want you to understand and to know it's not just at the moment of impact. It's not just at the moment where you're having that situation. It could be later. It could be something that maybe you're unsure about. But, you know, our union is supposed to be an all-inclusive situation. We have legal services, and most recently, I also wanted to report to you that we're taking note and we're looking at things. We're actually reviewing the SPD, which is the book that you get for your legal services. And we found that in some cases, some folks that are married people may be submitting for a benefit that they feel they should only get a single service for. If you have any questions about that, I'm the plan manager on the legal fund. I'm new. I'm succeeding Rob in that role. I can tell you right now, I'm really scrappy and I'm very competitive. I want to beat him at being better, and he knows that I'm joking. But he definitely encourages me to do whatever it is that I can to make that better. So, kind of wanted to put out an announcement to you all that you don't have to wait for something to happen, and we're there. You could just talk to your reps and connect, or you could just pick up the phone. I'm looking at Kathy because I know that I've talked to her several times when she just has a question, and sometimes it's just something so little and simple that it may put your mind at ease. And you know, I hope anyway. She would tell me. I don't know if anyone knows Kathy, but she's definitely not shy. And look, the last thing I kind of wanted to loop back everything into is to say, you know, talking a lot about organizing, we're realizing those gains now. Organizing Blank Street Workers has produced around 125 people. Michelle's working on those accounts to connect with that their leadership team to make sure that all of those members have everything that they need, information, and that connection with them. You know, now that they're union, we want them to grow. We want them to do better, and we will help them. We've already started to receive money from the legal fund, I should say, for those members. So those funds now are available to the members that are at Blank Street, which prior to that did not have any of that. And of course, we have a great team led by Greg Pasquale with George and Gina, who are the reps there, who are now servicing those members. We want that. That is the conclusion that we're looking for, from beginning to end and forevermore. Once those members are organized, that's not where it ends. Mm-hmm. You know, that's where it begins, to be honest with you. And I'm really looking forward to bargaining the next contract with them, because just like all of your employers, we're all buddy-buddy after the ratification, but you know, the fun always starts and begins after that. So thank you for indulging me.
Ecker's been doing a lot on Blank also.
Yes, I'm sorry. I left Rob Ecker
Is he still here? Or did he go home? Was he dismissed? Oh, there he is. Just checking. Terrible.
And look, I want to talk a little bit about something. I don't want to take anything away from Rob. I think these are the types of announcements that definitely come from him. He sends greetings, by the way. He hates not being here. If you know Rob, you know that he's here with us right now. And if you're watching, Rob, hello. We
Just
will
put your
be-
name in the box, though.
We will be making some modification to the shop steward holiday bonus or gift, if you will, to increase it. We've heard we've had conversations both internally and also with the membership. And we wanted to raise that for several reasons. We know that, obviously, I don't have to tell you all, inflation is inflation, and things are so expensive, and we wanted to recognize that. But we're also going to raise the check for the attendance. We pay the folks that aren't paid by their companies to attend, and we want to make sure we keep track with inflation. That's really important. I'm sure that there's at least one individual I can think of that this is going to be a really great conversation with. I hope it's more. And I hope that if you're a shop steward, that you explain that this increase is not, it's going to $150. It's going from 125 to 150. It's not going from 125 to 150. It's going from $50, which is what it used to be, to 150. And I hope people really understand the difference in that, because it takes a lot for us to be able to project that out. It takes a lot for us to make that commitment. But we also know that it takes a lot for our shop stewards to be shop stewards. So this is just a small token of what we feel that you all deserve. And, I hope that everyone understands and really appreciates what it means, because we definitely understand and appreciate everything that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ally. Thank you for your report. I'll jump back in, and then I'll pass it to Paul at the end. I mentioned the Stop and Shop store closings. That process is pretty far down the road. Obviously, if you have any questions, we're here to field them. They're closing 5 stores, right? But 3 of them have been spoken for by Food Bazaar, as I mentioned before, Cropsey, Hempstead, and Mount Vernon. The Cropsey transition, for those of us who work at Cropsey or know about Cropsey, has already happened. These things aren't going to be as squeaky clean and smooth as they probably should be, but the intention is there to continue on as Food Bazaar in these particular locations and to move forward. Food Bazaar is a very prominent company within the city of New York and beyond. And they have shown an interest in a rather large interest in growing their brand. When Fairway went bankrupt, Food Bazaar came in and bought 3 stores. Okay. When Pathmark went bankrupt, Food Bazaar came in and bought 2 stores, right? Brentwood and Starrett City. So they've been in our lives for, it's almost 10 years now, Food Bazaar. And they are a responsible employer, and they are looking to grow. And we want them to grow, obviously, because if any of our other legacy or traditional stores close, we always want it to be picked up by a unionized employer, right? So, we're dealing with some other things at some of the other locations, Greenvale and Coram, I think is the other one. But, I think it's too soon to comment on anything like that until we know what's what. I will tell you that we have a bit of an issue at the Mount Vernon location, which was already scheduled to transition. But there is an elected official in Mount Vernon who apparently has been vocal about not wanting Food Bazaar to come there. They're doing this redevelopment project, we understand, in Mount Vernon, and they'd rather a non-union supermarket come in, and they've been very vocal about it. So we're working to try and right that ship because we were well on the path to have Food Bazaar transition, just like we did at Cropsey. But there's a couple bumps in this road, and we're going to keep you posted. We're going to wind up meeting with the mayor of Mount Vernon and some other elected officials, along with our lobbyists and whoever else we may need to. Our field director, Greg Pasquale, was on a phone call today for the central, God bless you, for the central body labor union that he sits as a vice president on, the Westchester Putnam Labor Council, where they actually made a call to the mayor of Mount Vernon on behalf of us and Food Bazaar, quite frankly, saying how can you basically choose non-union jobs over union jobs? So what are we doing with these folks? So you're okay with losing 100+ union jobs in your district, in your neighborhood. So that conversation is heating up, and we're going to we will update folks as it progresses. But there's a little bit of a rough road ahead for the Mount Vernon location, and time's ticking, quite frankly. I mentioned. Now I'll touch base on a couple of other things. Partners Coffee, Ali mentioned a little bit earlier. We are ongoing in negotiations there. It's our inaugural contract there with that company. It was non-union earlier this year. Now it's a union company after the victory in Williamsburg. And, you know, we're negotiating a union contract with a company that's been non-union since its inception. That's not an easy thing to do. We did it with Blank Street. It took just about a year from the election, the most recent election, to settling that contract. And they used Jackson Lewis as their attorney. So, needless to say, that was a difficult job. But we're proud, as Ali so eloquently reported on Blank Street and the return that we're getting there, and the fact that we're able to especially represent those members that sought out a union in the first place for a reason. So we've got George Capo and Gina Guelli. I don't know if she's in the room. I think she's on an assignment in here. Oh, Gina. That are the reps for the Blank Street locations. We currently have 20 under contract and are moving ahead there. If you don't know, Blank Street is growing and growing. When we started the campaign a couple of years ago, they had opened their first location in London. They now have 35 locations in London and Manchester, in Europe. Yes, that London. So, and they have a couple of locations in Boston, a couple of locations in Washington, D.C., and 30-something in New York City. So we're going to continue on there with them, bringing those workers the best jobs that we can do. And it's, you know, we have formed a relationship with that company, again, another one that has been non-union since its inception. And we have some growing pains between us and them, but it's a good relationship, and we're going to continue to grow. Moving on, we have Foodway 7 Seas in Brooklyn. We are negotiating that contract. We had one session so far where we gave the company the committee's proposals, and we are awaiting a response from that company, and we will update you as that progresses. But wish us well there. That was a former Fairway location. Again, harken back to what I said earlier with some of our traditional stores that close, go through bankruptcies, or just shut down, not underperforming stores. We want unionized operators to purchase those stores and fold them into their wings. So if you're not familiar with 7 Seas of Georgetown or the 7 Seas Company, they have been around for decades. They operate out through the Key Food Cooperative, and you know they're a very well-known company. So we are negotiating our first contract with them. The first one, when they acquired that Fairway location, there was basically a basic, I don't want to say basic, but like a boilerplate acquisition contract there, which our principals negotiated, and this is the first go-around with a committee. So we will update you on that as well. I mentioned some departures from the ShopRite companies. I just wanted to expand on that a little bit, what we meant about the relationships that we're losing there. So I mentioned Grace McCabe, who is retiring. Grace is a wonderful person. And we have a really good relationship with Grace. Do we bump heads at times? Yes, because we have to do our jobs, and Grace does her job as best she can. But overall, we can have great communication, and we have had great communication with folks like Grace for Glass Gardens ShopRite. And when these folks leave or retire, there's a void there. That relationship isn't there anymore. And we're unsure of our future relationship with Glass Garden ShopRite. God bless you.
Bless you.
Yes, we did meet Grace's replacement, and we wish her well. Her name escapes me right now. But things change. For example, SRS is another company that we've lost someone that we dealt with, John Hunker, for those of us who are from SRS or watching that are from SRS. I know we typically have some suburban folks in Westchester, Putnam, and Dutchess watching on YouTube Live. But we could always pick up the phone and call John Hunker if we needed something. He could pick up the phone and call us if he needed something. And again, at the bargaining table, yeah, we're expected to bump heads, right? But for the rest of the time, we had a good relationship with him.
Bless you.
God bless. Look, these folks leave, and I think there have been 2 or 3 replacement people so far for Hunker. And yeah, again, the future is uncertain there. Even Mike Koch from Mannix is someone that we could speak to. It was usually yelling, but we were speaking.
Absolutely.
He left Mannix ShopRite in Staten Island. And even though negotiations would be difficult with Mannix, for those of us who are familiar, we could at least pick up the phone after we walked out and say, hey, Mike, we need to get back together and have a conversation. And he was, I'm going to say this loosely, he was the voice of reason for Mannix ShopRite as far as our relationship goes. So he's not there anymore. And we're not sure to what extent we're dealing with his successor. I'm saying these things to especially say that in 2026, our Glass, our Mannix, our SRS contracts expire, our Bonadonna contract expires, then our Village ShopRite contracts expire in 2026. And especially those 3 companies that I mentioned initially, we're not sure who we're bargaining with. We're not sure what tone they're going to take at the bargaining table. And for anyone is there anyone here who was on any of those ShopRite bargaining committees? Okay. There's always going to be, hey, R10, there's always going to be one in this because it was a huge committee. It was 3 companies negotiating together. And I'm saying that it was difficult over Zoom. Some of the positions that the company took, the respective companies took. And those were people that we had good relationships with. So not sure what to expect come 2026. So we've got some concern leading up there. Folks are lawyering up. There are different lawyers joining their firms, and folks that don't necessarily have any sort of relationship with, historic relationship with labor relations or unions or Local 1500. So bargaining is going to be tricky for ShopRite in 2026. It's right around the corner. You know what else is right around the corner? Stop and Shop negotiations. Any Stop and Shop folks in here today? Okay. Your contract expires June 28th, 2025. All right, that's 9 months away, which means,
Tomorrow.
yeah, which means all of the preparation and such that goes into negotiations with a company that large. You know, we've got over 7,000 Stop and Shop members. We're basically, as Ally said, we're basically starting tomorrow. We're gonna look to start early there and move that ball down the field. I've already started writing my shop steward seminar speech for those shop stewards that are in the room. I'll apologize now if you hear this again at the seminar, but the truth is, we don't want to play the contract expiration date game. We don't want to play that midnight on June 28th, 2025 game. If we can negotiate something early and the opportunity is there, we're going to take it, and we're going to do it as smoothly and as, as aggressively as we can. That being said, we don't know what to expect, and we're going to, don't be surprised when we start scheduling proposal meetings and such to get folks together, because we're going to want to hit it early. This is Stop and Shop we're talking about. Again, another company where we've got some really good relationships. But when it comes to bargaining, the folks we have the relationships with, those folks that I mentioned earlier, they're not the owners of the company, okay? They report up to their owners, right? So they're limited to what they can do, what they can agree to, what they can say. Same thing with Stop and Shop. Even more so with Stop and Shop, where the reach is not even there. I mean, you're reaching out to someone in the Netherlands, basically, is where where the ultimate answer comes from. And when it goes across the seas like that, you folks are not people, you're numbers. So we want to make sure that we work on that as early as possible. So that's going to be my project 2025. Stop and Shop. So I did just text Rob because we have an issue in the Bronx at the PDC, the Production and Distribution Center, which is owned now by Village ShopRite. Okay, it's a commissary. They produce tons and tons of food there and ship it out to not only Village ShopRites in New York and New Jersey, but also some other banners that they own, Gourmet Garage, okay, Fairway, okay, and the MTA is the Metropolitan Transportation Authority is working on a huge project connecting the railway in the Bronx, through the Bronx, right, making travel for Bronx residents more palatable or easier, which is something that we're all in favor of. However, they've decided to, commandeer the parking lot of the PDC and kind of put our members and anyone else that works at the PDC in a bit of a jam because they're eliminating a good percentage of the parking spots there. So this is a government project, and we've reached out to folks in the government in New York State to try and work this out. And we were at a meeting in New Rochelle this week, Ally, Rob, and I, meeting with representatives of Village ShopRite and representatives of the MTA to try and work out some sort of an understanding about what's going to happen there. We'll keep you posted. It's not one of those things that you'll hear like in your everyday work, but it's something that we're dealing with that's taking up a good amount of not only our time but our energy, reaching out to elected officials and our lobbyists and to Village ShopRite. And obviously we partner with folks. We're sitting on the same side of the table with Village, basically telling the MTA, look, hey, this is hurting us. This is problematic. So it's one of those times where, we always depend on our relationships there. Sometimes we sit on the same side of the table as the companies that we represent. So that's why these relationships are always pretty important to us, because one day a Village or a Stop and Shop or a Food Bazaar or someone else, a Dan Supreme or anyone, is going to need something and want something, and we use whatever leverage we can, whatever relationships we can to help those employers that employ our members, so that our members can continue to work without a problem. So we'll keep you posted on that particular issue.
Can I jump in a little bit?
Yeah. Thank you.
I just want to say that we've made some people's lives very difficult and probably miserable by now, and we're going to continue to do that. Our members are not going to park across the street or in any situation where it's unsafe. Some of the proposals were ridiculous, and I could tell you right now that they were not allocating any space that was justifiable for us to accept, and that we have made some headway. I'm not saying we're happy, and some of the things that Rob said during the meeting, you can only imagine. We're pretty explosive, but we're necessary to be said. So, as Joe said, we'll keep you posted, but we are making some people extremely uncomfortable, and we're totally okay with that.
Okay, I think, yeah, thank you, Al. I appreciate that. Yeah, that looks like I'm good there.
All right,
Yeah.
okay. Good evening. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Paul Santopia, Director of Operations, and my pronouns are he and him. I want to discuss some events that had taken place earlier this year and during the summer. We had fundraisers for our charity fund. The first event that we had was the bowling event up in Dutchess County, and that event raised $12,080, which was a total success. The next event that we had to raise money for charity took place in Nassau County. It was the Comedy Club, and that event raised $4,220. The last fundraising event that we had was the fishing trip, and that event raised $3,605. All of these were successful events thanks to the members that participated and made it that way. And for the future, because we're going to continue to do events like this, we would love to have more participation. So any of you that want to do that in the future, look out at our social medias, our newspaper, and talk to your reps, and they will inform you of these events. Every year we have a blood drive. Actually, we have two. Normally it's March and August, and if you want to put in your calendars again, next year will be March and August again. But this year, the blood drive on August 1st, Joe had mentioned earlier, we were able to get 94 pints. And that's an awesome job, and I want to thank you very much. It's one of my events that I got involved in when Tony Spellman was running the blood drive, even when he was the secretary-treasurer. Tony was always involved in the blood drive, but he handed it off to me, and thanks to all of you, it's been successful, and I appreciate you. That 94 pints, every single pint saves 3 lives, so actually we saved 282 lives. You guys did. 282 lives, and you should give yourselves an applause. On a personal note, this year, I had 3 family members that had medical issues and had to have multiple transfusions. So doing this, it comes around the circle, and you never know. So we always struggle to get people to donate. A lot of people are afraid. The pool of people that we get are tapping out, they're getting aged out. So I always need new blood, new people to donate. So please consider in the future to donate. We usually feed you. We have some items that we usually raffle off. So it's usually a nice time. So if you can consider and take the time to donate, I know it will go a long way in saving people's lives. The last item that we did this year, and we've been doing it for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, is the backpacks. We ran it for a month, and members requested back-to-school backpacks. And this year, we gave out 157 backpacks. So it's an awesome job. I just want to update and inform you that we're going to have some cosmetic work done. We're going to be fixing the parking lot and the front entrance way, the cement work. So there's going to be some times in the next few weeks that the building's going to be limited access. So I just want to make you aware of that. It's going to be all depending on weather. We have things scheduled, but if it's raining out, they can't rip up asphalt and replace sidewalks and such. So just bear with us, and we'll get through the process and move on. That's all I have. Thank you.
When Paul paused on the cosmetic part, I was like, where are we going with this? I'm sitting in the chair, I have to do it, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
We will keep you all posted if there's a serious issue and you cannot come into the building for whatever reason. I would definitely recommend to check the socials, but we could also put out some sort of a blast or anything like that, so we'll keep you posted, so don't worry. Staff, you gotta come in, sorry.
Thank you, Paul.
Questions and answers?
Yeah, I think that's the end of our regular business. We can get into the question and answer part of it. Here comes Desmond. Say hello to the folks.
Hello, folks.
Wave on the camera.
Wait, come on, you're on.
You had to go this
get in
way.
there.
Yeah, this way.
That's all right. You did it. You won't see yourself because there's like a 2-minute delay.
This way. This
But-
way.
Wave, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Just go on YouTube live later, and you see yourself. Trust me, it happens.
It's called YouTube later.
Hey, yeah, YouTube later.
Good night.
Good night, folks. Our office staff was so nice to grace us with their presence tonight. So they love coming to the meeting, and we love having you here, folks. But any office staff folk, if you want to bounce, you can bounce out for this. Desmond, this is the only question we have so far? Okay. That's an easy one to answer.
Unless we got something out here. No, I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy.
Lily, from Pickwick 16, is there going to be a holiday dinner this year for the shop stewards? That's something that we are discussing. I think it's probably not, because we would have had to. It's a bunch of reasons. We're getting back to our in-person shop steward seminar, which is going to be pretty late this year, October 22. We have to be conscious of the cost of all that, and this is our first in-person seminar, as we stated, in 5 years. By the way, 5 years we haven't been back. So, venues have skyrocketed their prices and all that. So I don't know that we're doing individual shop steward dinners. That might be something that we revisit in the future, but for this year, it's going to be a no. Okay?
It's our first in-person shop steward seminar since we took office. So
Right?
it'll be the first time we speak to you all as the people in our positions, obviously Rob being president, so really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Anybody have questions in here?
Yeah, anybody in the room have any questions? When's the raffle starting? That's the question. I heard it. Okay, folks, let's go with the raffle. Do we have attendance cards? Do we have the raffle box? Jeff's got it all.
We got one box, or we got the second box?
We got, what do we have in here? This is the folks in the room, right? Okay.
And she's getting the other?
And who's got the YouTube folks? So how many of these are we gonna do? We're gonna do a few of these first, right? 5 of these.
Seven.
There's the other box, Paul. Hello, Danny. I didn't get, come here, Danny. Come say hello to everyone. Jeff, come on back, say hello to everyone. I forgot you. You're not gonna see yourself.
It's a delay. Just
Trust
wait,
me, yeah.
just wait.
There's like a 17-minute delay. So say hello, all right, and then watch yourself later. Hey, we could edit that out. All right.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah.
You want me to pick the first one? Jeff, come here. Yeah, because I don't want to get yelled at by anyone.
Oh, okay.
So let Jeff get you over.
This is just in person first, right?
Yeah.
In person first.
Shut up.
You weren't supposed to tell.
Oh my God, Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie?
Anne-Marie, give me, yay! Come on, Anne-Marie, come on around. Watch your step. What? God, where these boxes come from? Congratulations, take your
Here
gift
you
card.
go.
And then please pick one of these. Don't look. Don't look.
Pick a good one.
Kathy Brawley.
She's like, finally.
Yeah. Yeah, you would. Hello, Kathy. Take your gift card too before we forget, and then we're like, where'd this extra one come from?
George Roman.
George
Oh.
Roman.
No, he can't
win.
He can't win.
Hey,
Sorry, George, next time.
Who's not weeding out the executive board cards out of this?
Oh, no.
It's not George Roman.
That's not George
Kathy.
Roman.
Kathy.
Put the glasses on your face. Severe Dillon. Severe. Come on. She messed up. She got us, right?
Let's see if his name can spell it.
You got our staff yelled at her and everything already. Severe, how are you? Take your winning card. Sure.
I love how he's so sterile about it. He's like, take it over
Take it
there.
Brian C. Lewis. Yeah, Brian. Good job.
It's rigged, right?
It's rigged.
There you go. Congrats.
All right.
Brian, thank you very much. Thanks for coming to the parade too. I appreciate that.
Richard A. Nelson.
Oh,
I
okay.
knew it.
Go for it. Yeah, Rich, yeah.
I know, right?
Okay, is that, one more for
You
the?
always win.
No, I don't. It's been a while.
He always comes, that's
Yeah,
why.
he does. It's true.
Gotta show
You're right.
up.
You gotta show up.
I like
with the
that.
in-person one.
I like
That
that.
one? That's one.
That's one. You wanna read it? Hey.
Yeah, sure. Peter John Hoffman.
Hey, Peter John. Woo! Now
Now we're doing.
all right, Pete, come on up and just hang for a moment. Just make sure that, okay. Get your card, get Peter's card.
Yep. There you go. You're welcome.
Now we've mixed in the YouTube Live folks that have been patiently waiting and not writing any, okay, good. Anything terrible.
Okay.
Okay,
Too much.
sorry. All right, YouTube Live, right off the bat. Lori Barbie, ShopRite 206. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. one of those SRS
Lori,
we're
come pick
talking
a
about.
number.
Yeah, Lori, where are you? Come pick a number. Yeah, come on, Jim. Don't look.
Hi, Lori.
There's a lot of cards in here. That's a good thing, I guess, right?
If you pick one of your members, it goes back in. No, I'm just kidding. No. Oh,
Catherine Weissenberger.
yeah, in person. Woo! Kathy. She wrote her whole government name on there. Hi, how are you?
Have to be legal, you know.
Take your card.
Thanks for
Nice to
coming.
see you. That's a YouTube live person.
Donna Zerbis Zamets,
I like this. Say like,
SAG 564.
yeah.
Stop and
Stop and
Oh,
shop.
Stop and
Yeah,
Shop,
that's,
okay.
that's someone's handwriting right there. Right?
So that's mine.
That's yours?
That's mine, yeah.
Oh, Donna Steinmetz. Yes. Stop and Shop 564. Congratulations.
It doesn't have to
She related to Jennifer Steinmetz?
be. What do they say about yours?
Big one?
Yeah. This is the last one you're picking.
Okay.
I feel a little bit of, it's not feeling so good in the room right now.
This one's, oh.
See?
Tom Cuomo, ShopRite 274.
Ah. Peter, come back up. Let's pick some. Can't pick your own because you won already.
What about George?
Yeah, George, okay.
He can't win, so
Yeah, George can't win. I should just pick
he's
over.
gonna pick Kathy's name
George
again
Roman you're
somehow.
talking about, okay.
Yeah.
Stephen Hennessy, Wild by Nature, 203. Congratulations, Steve. Hey, Roman, come on up here. Those squeaky legs up here. Come on, let's go.
Well, make sure if you get, he wins, you gotta wait, just make sure he doesn't win.
George Roman, our King Cullen Vice President. Everybody, George Roman. Carolina De La Cruz, King Cullen 14.
Hewlett in the house.
Hewlett's in the house.
Sure,
Yo,
give me a-
Nicholas, come here. No, yeah, you can't work. That's work. All right, from behind the camera.
Say hello.
There's like a 24-minute delay, so you gotta wait.
I don't know if you know, but there's a delay.
No, it's just
No,
forever.
it's-
Karen Borromeo, Stop Shop 2502, YouTube Live. Wait, who? Frank? Frank Palumbo? Wait, what if he picks his own? No, he can't. Ecker, come here, pick a card.
Any card.
Any card, any card. Then it's gonna be. Thank you. Rob Ecker, Field Director. Matt DeMarchi, ShopRite 202. Yeah. Congratulations.
Last but not least,
This is the last card? All right,
Yeah.
Jeff. Dig in there deep.
Dave.
Think it is, okay?
Diane Ciaramella. There you go. Stop Shop 532. Westchester County's in the house. Westchester Putnam. That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait,
well,
we should let people know,
yeah.
December 11th, these will be gift cards that will be MasterCards or Visas, not just Stop and Shop. And the numbers get a lot bigger. So please, make sure you make an effort and come in so that Rich Nelson can win again.
Need a motion and a second to adjourn. We take, Paul, you got it?
No, I don't know.
Rich Nelson. come
Rich
on.
Nelson.
And Kathy Brawley.
Yeah.
Kathy Brawley.
All in favor? Everyone's so
55.
quietly opposed? Thank you, folks.
Bye,
Appreciate it.
people.
Thank you.